We're in a West Coast mood. It's happening. We're talking about the diddler. We have to do it. Just because. Let's do it. How are you guys doing? All right, let me stop my West Coast vibe. Let's get into tonight's debauchery. There's so much going on. Did y'all see this apology video? Diddy apologized for what we saw on Friday. I had to take that stream down because YouTube was like, AV, there's a little bit of violence here. And I'm like, I know. But like, to convey the message, people need to see it. They need to see what happened. And YouTube was like, no, but community guidelines, we don't want people to see it. So I will not show what happened in the hotel footage again. But I have so much to go over with you guys today. I don't know where you want to start. We're going to start with this man's. Hold on. Let me look at the agenda. What do we have? We are going to go to the apology video. I have a legal timeline for you. We're going to talk about why Diddy cannot be charged. And we're going to talk about that from a legal standpoint. There's a lot of people on this platform that are not legal people, don't have a legal background. They're just talking. They can read a court document like you and I, but I'm going to give you guys some context so we can really understand why Diddy is not able to be charged for what we saw on Friday, okay? Then your girl is starting a new thing where we have all of the exhibits. What does that mean for the court of public opinion? For you, dear viewer? It means we're going to look at all of the fishy things. All of them. All of them. All of them. Buckle up, because that means I want to look at Cassie's complaint again, not in depth, but I do want to look at Little Rod's complaint. I do want to look at the lady saying that Diddy shot her during the Shine incident. I do want to look at the Drink Champs thing one more time. I do want to look at 50 Cent's feed on Instagram. I do want to look at Shine's interview. I want to talk a little bit more about our friend, the former bodyguard, Gene Deal, how Diddy smacked his mama. And this may be a reason why he's a little bit, we'll just say it, debaucherous towards women. Like, he doesn't care. And this was in the 90s. So I'm going to show you guys that clip too. And if you really want me to go super in, we might look at Keefe D's admission where he's like, brother love. Where's the love, brother love? Keefe D, you know that guy that's going to be sitting on for Tupac's murder trial in 2 weeks? 2 weeks from today. Yep. So all of this is happening in the news. And guess what? Your girl has a legal background, but also a PR background. So I pieced all of this wonderfully together for you today. And that we're going to talk about it all. I can't wait. I can't wait. And then lastly, guess who has a podcast from jail? Guess. Suge Knight. Crazy. Listen up. It's called The Collect Call with Suge, and he had some interesting stuff to say. So we've lined up about 8 clips for you guys after we go into these lawsuits, after we start with the apology video. But before we go anywhere, I have missed you guys. I'm so sad we had to take the stream down on Friday because of all the shenanigans. But let's see who we have in the building. I'm going to say hi to a few of you guys, do a quick ad read, and then we'll jump right into the apology video. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Well, we're going to watch it together and go from there. Shout out to EC, who's first today. One of our favorite people has entered the chat. Good to see you, EC. Hope you're having a great day. RTP is in the building. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you, Debbie. One of the faves. Kat, who has also gone live on this earlier today. And if you haven't followed Kat already, please do that. If one of the mods are in the chat, please drop the link to Kat's channel. She is amazing. She says, One Republic voice. It's too late to apologize. It's too late. And Diddy's trying to apologize. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I went to Cassie's law firm's website and looked at their public statement that was issued 2 hours ago. So we're going to read that too. Can't wait. Hi, Tyree. Good to see you. Star. Good to see you too. Hope everybody has had a great Sunday and a good weekend. Chi-Town's Finest is in here. It says, blessings, AV. Ignore the haters. We're going to keep your outstanding grind. We're going to do it. I'm glad you said that, Chi-Town. I had, you're going to love this. I was supposed to meet up with somebody today because, your girl is studying for the bar exam. Like, we have a plan for the next few months. Meaning, like, I called my old law school and I was like, hey, I'm going to take the bar exam. And they're like, okay, you need to be back here from Georgia to Massachusetts in a week, right? So that means I have a week to see people and say goodbye to people and stuff. I had somebody stand me up today. It was really bad. But I'm excited because it gave me time to hang out with y'all. Right. And this is what I love to do. Like, I really love talking about legal things with you guys. So to see that comment, Chi-Town, it means a lot. Thank you so much. Hey, Texas, Miss O in Ohio is here. Corey is here as well. Oh, everybody's Corey, this is interesting. It says, what's crazy is that I still listen to R. Kelly music, but I can't listen to this demon anymore. I mean, I get it. Shout out to Kiana, who's here as well. JP is here. Lady Di, another one of my favorites. Gordon is reminding you guys of something. Gordon says, get AV's likes tight. Oh my God, I love that. It's not even that you get the likes right. Get the likes tight. Do me a favor, just hit the like button. That's going to shoot this out to the algorithm. We're having fun here. We have so much to go through. It's so funny. I put a poll up for you guys. I just looked over on this screen. I said, is he guilty or what? 96% of you guys have voted yes. As the new people come in, like, there's like 4% that say no. I don't know what's wrong with those people. Are y'all ready to get started? Let's go. Hi, Alfred. He says, looking lovely tonight. Thank you. I tried to do the off the shoulder thing. I don't know. I thought about it. I was like, is this too much? Because, like, I'm wearing pants, but, like, I'm like, are people going to think that this is YouTube going to demonetize this because it's too revealing? Shoulders. I think shoulders are fine. Hi, lovely soul. Good to see you. Okay, so many of you guys pop in, and I'm always excited to see all of you. James is in here too. Okay, let's just go. Somebody just talked about Little Rod. That's a good question, Chris. Now that we know all of this, will Little Rod win? Okay, let me go to my highly thought about agenda. And that's going to start with an ad read. Shout out to Chalkboard Candle. You guys know that I love them here on this channel. We're going to light a candle. It says that was cute. You can get this on their website. When you support Chalkboard Candle, not only are you giving back to a great cause, half of their proceeds go back to local teachers, Minnesota-based company, American-made, American-born. It's ceramic. It's not the crap. It has my name on it. So not only are you supporting me, you're supporting local teachers. It's natural coconut wax. And like I said, guys, I've had this candle sometime since like the beginning of April. I light it every single time we stream. And guess what? We're halfway through and it hasn't gone out yet. And these streams, look at how deep that is. These streams go for at least a half hour, an hour and a half to 2 hours. So that shows you that it's super long lasting. So if you're in the market for a candle, I was pushing it for Mother's Day. I don't know if dads want candles, but Father's Day is coming, Flag Day is coming. Like, if you're interested in candles, check them out. They're amazing. Information will be in the description box later. We're streaming right now, so I'll put it in after we post, but you can always go to chalkboardcandle.com and you can see that at the top of their site, you'll see AV has a candle there. You can get it in any scent. And if you use my code, you will get 15% off of the entire website. Now that we've done that, are you guys ready for the shenanigans? We're going to go straight into love, right? We're going to go to Father Love's Instagram feed. Okay? And Father Love's Instagram feed has a post that was posted today. Okay, around noon, my time. And it is an apology to Cassie. Now, why? Why, dear viewer, on God's green earth, would Diddy want to apologize to Cassie? Well, if you've been living under a rock, then you don't know that approximately 48 hours ago, CNN dropped a clip. And this clip included hotel footage of one Sean P. Diddy Combs physically assaulting Cassie, meaning, and I'm going to verbally say this because YouTube hit me. They were like, take that video down. I was like, damn. They were like, take it down. I was like, okay, fine. So I took it down. But when I say, here's what happened in the video, I'll describe it to you. Cassie, and we cross-referenced it with a legal document. So what it proved was that Cassie was not lying. And I think I mentioned to you guys that her lawyers actually did, they were nice about it in the legal document. It was not as descriptive as it should have been. Meaning, the way it was described was, Cassie and Diddy are in this hotel room for a freak off. And we know that because, like, even from the hotel footage, we saw like the white nails. And we've been talking about that here. It's not funny. I will never get my nails done white again because of Diddy. Right? So you have that happening. There's a freak off happening. Apparently, Diddy gets lit. He gets super drunk and he like punches Cassie in the eye. Cassie waits for Diddy to fall asleep. And when he falls asleep, she tiptoes out, and you can see it in the hotel footage. She has no sapatu on, no shoes, no socks, no maya. She just starts walking down the hallway. She has a hoodie on, super discreet, very quiet, is turning at the elevator like this, turning, back turn at the elevator, hits the button and starts putting on socks. Who jumps out of the bed like just like a crackhead on rocks, just pops out of the bed? First of all, I don't know any drunk person that gets up that quickly, right? Apparently, Diddy notices that she's gone. He hears something. He pops up out of bed. He's naked. Like, I don't know if he had drawers on or not. All we saw in the hallway footage is that he had on a towel and just started sprinting down the hallway to get her. And when I say that she, meanwhile, is hitting the button, boop, putting on her socks, bent down, putting on her socks, this man comes behind her and yanks her hoodie, pulls her back. She falls on the ground. And when she falls on the ground and lays there. She's not talking shit. She's not back-mouthing. She's not doing anything. She lays there in the fetal position. Then what does Diddy do? This human scum decides to kick her in the back at least 3 times as she's in the fetal position. She's not saying anything. And granted, we can't hear it because there's audio. So I'll give, the 4% of people that think he's innocent somehow, we'll give them that, right? We couldn't hear the audio, but you see her physically like this. She's not physically coming back at the guy, right? Now, what happens next? After he kicks her 3 or 4 times, this human scum goes and picks up the bags that she had in her hand. She had a Louis Vuitton duffel and she had a smaller purse. He picks up those bags as if he's trying to bring her back to the room because he doesn't want her to leave. Then he grabs her again and starts dragging her to come down the hallway. At this point, Cassie is not fighting back. She's just sitting there kind of shocked, like, what the hell? Right? That's what we all saw. Then the second part of this is, I don't know if he walked away. We couldn't see it. The second part of that footage was Diddy picking up a vase as she was hurled up in a corner trying to get out of there, he threw a glass vase at her. You know, and I can understand if it's like guy on guy action, or if someone is hitting you and you are defending yourself. We did not see that in this clip. Why does all of that matter? And this is why you've come to the right channel today, ladies and gentlemen, because again, legal background, but 10 years in PR. Worked for one of the nation's top 10 banks where we got in trouble for shit all the time. I was one of the people that helped us write what we were going to say to the press. So I was very curious on what Diddy's team would say after that footage was leaked. And we're going to talk a little bit about law enforcement today, guys, because the other thing that comes along with this is why now? Where did the footage come from? We're 2 weeks from Keefe D being on trial for Tupac's murder. What a coincidence. Just so happens that this is being leaked now. Where did it come from? Could it perhaps have come from, I don't know, the raid that happened a month ago? Maybe it's law enforcement leaking this footage. Because do you know who dropped something yesterday? Where this happened? This hotel was located in LA. The LA District Attorney's Office yesterday, and I'll pull it up if you guys want to see it. And that'll get towards the part where we talk about law enforcement, but they dropped a statement and they said, hey, this is out of our jurisdiction. And you got to remember, these guys settled a lawsuit. They settled a lawsuit. I'm not even going to waste time. I wanted to give you background because since YouTube is like, you can't show the video, I had to describe it to you. So with that being said, let's go back here. We see some interesting things on Diddy's Instagram account. We see the family here. We see the new lady. I want to talk about this later, but these last 5 posts, you see what I'm hovering on? Boom, 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 boom. All 5 of those posts were posted on Mother's Day. Wow. Daddy love seems to be spreading the love. Let's go to the apology. The first time that we do it, guys, I am going to, let you listen to the full apology without interruption. And the second time that we listen to the apology, I want to pause it in between certain statements to go back to some inconsistencies that I've seen from a PR and legal standpoint. Then we have a statement from Cassie's law firm that was released hours ago. So I will be showing you that. Most people aren't showing you that, so you're welcome. We will look at that too. But let's go to what the diddler has mentioned, why he's sorry, how he's sorry, all of the things. It's too late to say that I'm sorry. Shout out to Justin.
To reflect on the darkest times in your life, sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Okay. There's so much to unpack there. There's so much. There's so much to unpack in that one. The way he apologized, he's saying sorry, right? He's saying that he was going through a dark time in his life. I have lots to say about that because it seems like he's been going through a dark time in his life since 1990, and we are now in 2024. So, sir, if you've been on 30 years of demon time and you're apologizing to one person, there's probably a lot of people you need to apologize to, right? So I'm going to let it run a little bit more. And I'm going to now start breaking down some of the things that he's mentioned, some of the people that are no longer here anymore. RIP to Kim Porter, because now I think we have questions about what happened to Kim. What happened to Biggie? I don't have the document anymore. I used to keep it right here in this desk. I had the full transcript of what happened to Tupac. Because I want to know I'm very interested to know what happened to Tupac. Everybody's asking about what this tattoo is. It's a rose growing out of concrete. I want to know what happened to Tupac. KVD is going to explain that to us in a few minutes. It's going to be great. So we have that. We have the fallen. But we also have the victims upon victims, and this is where it doesn't get funny. Cassie was brave enough to, go back and forth with this guy for a settlement for months. And he wanted to not do it. He wanted to buck up. So she's just like, okay. The Wigdor law firm that I'm about to show you guys put out a statement. They've been very firm. They're also the law firm that Cassie hired. They're experienced with essay type of cases. They went up against Weinstein. She went to the best law firm that could be found in New York City to sue him. Dropped the lawsuit. Next day it was settled. We have a timeline. I'm going to show it to you guys. But let's go line by line and analyze what Diddy is saying, how he's saying it. PR-wise, if he was a client, and here's the thing, when you guys really think about PR, sometimes you're going to have a client with positive media, but most of the times when they hire you when they have a negative media, when there's a PR shitstorm. It is raining shit from the sky. The bowels of hell are opening for your client, and that is where Diddy is right now. Whoever advised him to do this video should be fired. It would probably be preferred for a press statement, a written statement. They've done it before and they've been shit because he lied, obviously. But here's why this Instagram reel is horrible. Number one, it is all over the news. It's all over national media right now. We all thought it was weird that CNN, the most liberal media outlet, received that footage first. That's a little weird. I'm going to say that. Okay. They received it. It goes out. They were credited for having it. If you look at Diddy's face as I'm talking to you guys, I have a little bit more expression than he does. Like I'm expressing myself a little bit more. But you can see that there really isn't a lot of remorse in his face. And if you think about human body language, this is why it was a really fucked up idea to put this guy in front of a camera and have him apologize. People, human beings, detect body language, micro expressions. Diddy, we all know you're lying. We all know you're lying. If you think about the news, guys, micro expressions matter. So if you have a person, even if I was a lawyer and I put you on the stand, and if I am testing you and practicing with you, and if I can look at you and say, a jury's not going to fucking believe you, they're not. Why in seven hells will we put this man in front of a camera after his house just got raided? trying to squeeze out tears. What? Look at the shirt. Put him in a suit if you mean it. Put him in like good colored clothes if you mean it. He has on a dingy t-shirt. What looks like the safari. Talking about, I'm sorry. This is how you want to apologize to Cassie? Who is this PR team? Who did this? Cut his hair. Put him in a suit. Say sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Safari. I'm sorry, Safari. What I mean, look at the. This looks like a hut atop of him. A hut. Where are we at? I am swearing a ton, Corey. I apologize. I'm just really upset with Diddy and what he did to Cassie, and this is all of that coming out right now. Carol says, where is he even at? I don't know. Is he in his backyard? Is he on vacation? Chris says, I agree. I mean, where is he? So now that we've looked at the visuals, and this is why I purposely wanted to put it on mute so we can all look at this together, because it really is a nightmare of a bad look from a public relations standpoint. You know, this came out on Instagram midday today. We are now at 9 p.m. Eastern. This came out around noon. And I really can't understand who would advise him to do this. But I'm going to go ahead and again, so we can hear what he's saying, aside from the visuals, aside from the body language. And yes, like, you know, I saw squeezing out tears. This is just a very, very intense look. I wish he wasn't sweating or in a sweaty t-shirt. If one is very serious about an apology that is impacting your professional and, you know, personal reputation, a suit would have been nice. But whatevs, that's what they chose to do. Let's go back in.
Then when I did it, I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Okay, now, the cry heard around the internet is that it's a fake apology or a half-assed apology. And quite frankly, some people are saying that it's not enough, Diddy. You know, he said that he was seeking therapy. Now, find that a little bit hard to believe. Here's why. Because you broke up with Cassie in 2018. We are in 2024. So that means you guys have had 6 years after the end of this relationship. She has moved on. She's got married. She has children. There has been 6 years between when the relationship concluded. And that incident happened in 2016. And he also paid the hotel in California $50,000 to obtain the footage. Now, last time we were here before the video got demonetized, I was one of the only people talking about property liability as a business owner. So, Intercontinental, a celebrity beats up one of their spouses in your hallway, and they approach you, and you pay them $50K, or they pay you $50K. You give them the footage instead of calling the authorities. I think that sounds like a ginormous lawsuit. And just in case you guys think I'm kidding about that, like I have it here. Like I have, there's a lot that we have for you guys today. We have the Diddy Cassie complaint here, right? Sean P. Diddy Combs, Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Records, Epic Records, Combs Enterprises, Doe Corps 1 through 10. This is the Cassie complaint. You know what's not on here? You know who's not listed as a defendant? The Intercontinental Hotel in LA where this incident took place. They are not listed. Huh. So interesting. And when Cassie released this document, when she released the hounds on November 16th of 2023, this incident right here is described on line item 120. Okay, this incident in 2016. So Cassie and Diddy, this incident happened in 2016. They concluded their relationship in 2018. They've had years to work through this. They've had years to talk through this. And I'm just going to go back in for the people that weren't here on Friday. This is 121 describes what happens, and 122 also describes what happens. They say after he fell asleep, Cassie tried to leave the room, but as she exited, he awoke and began screaming at her. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. He grabbed at her. And honestly, guys, like I said, this is being nice. He did not just grab at her. He pulled her back and threw her on the ground. That's what this should have said. Then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her, causing glass to crash around them as she ran to the elevator to escape. She managed to get to the elevator. This is where you have a property liability problem right here. She managed to get to the elevator. She got to the lobby, took a cab to her apartment, realized that her running away could piss him off, right? But let me read it. Her running away could cause Combs to be even angrier with her and completely stuck in his vicious cycle of abuse. Cassie returned to the hotel with the intention of apologizing to running away from her abuser. So she went back. Here's the worst part. When she returned, the hotel security staff urged her to get back into the cab and go to her apartment, suggesting that they had seen the footage showing Mr. Combs beating Miss Ventura and throwing the glass in the hotel hallway. So, talk that law. You know, I see you. I'm going to come see you in a second. But talk that law as a lawyer, he knows. Hotel, if I was a lawyer, I would nail you for property liability. Absolutely nail you for that. Those two paragraphs right there in this document are 120 and 121 were media gold, because a lot of people assume that Cassie was not telling the truth about this. 122 is property liability gold. I have heard from some of you guys that hotel is closed at this point. But how bad does it look for them if they saw it? So if you have a security team that saw the footage, Diddy attempted to sober up, and I don't think he did it himself. Of course, he sent one of his goons that worked for him. Somebody went to the security team, was just like, hey, we know you probably saw that. Here's some money. If we give you this money, can we get the tape? Right? House gets raided, torn upside down. Both houses get raided simultaneously, Miami and LA, by the Department of Homeland Security. And all of that is being orchestrated from New York. So they've been planning this for months. They wait for him to be in the air on a plane where he can't do anything. Both houses are turned upside down. You think it's a mistake that this footage is just coming out? The Intercontinental's in trouble. I mean, I'm just all of that to say the Intercontinental is in deep trouble. And real quick, I'm going to come to the supers in a second. I see a few of you guys, and I'm really excited about some of the supers that came in. But before we do that, I want to bring you to something that no one else has shown you on the interwebs just yet. And that is this. Who is this? This is the Wigdor law firm. This is the law firm that Cassie hired for her case that successfully got her a giant settlement and got Diddy to fold in 24 hours. Wigdor, again, love having my PR background. So what do I like to do? I like to go to News and Insights, and I like to look at the law firm's press releases. If you look at their practice areas, they're based out of New York, and they practice in two main areas: employment litigation and SA litigation. Okay? They're very tenacious in what they do. That's what they claim. Let's go to News and Press. They have a video that's up there. It's a Miami Dolphins head coach. But what did they post 2 days ago? This is the statement from the owner of the law firm in response to Diddy's footage. The owner of the law firm, Douglas Wigdor, he's a partner. He owns the damn law firm. It probably has 100 employees. This is what he says to the media. Let me see. I'm going to go to 4 more for a second. Okay, so this is a full thing. Yeah, this is a full-fledged. This is a CNN clip. I'm going to go back. But let's see what they say. Let's see what the law firm says. It says on May 17th, a 2016 surveillance video obtained exclusively by CNN shows Diddy Combs violently assaulting his then girlfriend Cassie during an altercation that matches the allegations Cassie detailed in her now settled federal lawsuit that we filed on her behalf in November of 23. Statement of Douglas Wigdor, lawyer for Cassie, says the gut-wrenching video has only further confirmed the disturbing and predatory behavior of Mr. Combs. Words cannot express the courage and fortitude that Ms. Ventura has shown and coming forward to bringing this to light. Now, I do want to say something about that. They have been very, very consistent with how they're responding to this PR-wise, this law firm, because this is almost verbatim what he said after the settlement. We are commending Cassie for her bravery and her commitment on coming out here and sharing her story. We know it's not easy. They're not diverting from that story at all. They're not diverting from that timeline at all. What is Diddy doing instead? He's floundering. He's all over the place. You know, you see him pacing up and down. You know, you see him like seeing his empire crumbling. He's scared. We've seen that for months. Now, this law firm is not floundering at all. In fact, and I'm going to take it down for a second, I thought I saw Cassie's other lawyer respond on Twitter today, off the clock. Let me see, Cassie response to Diddy apology. I just want to make sure I have the right thing. And you know 50 is putting this everywhere. Cassie's lawyers respond to Diddy's apology. Yes, I have it. Woo! Let's go, guys. We're looking at it in real time. Of course, why does it have to come from DJ Academics? But anyway, Nancy Dillon. And it comes from Meredith. She is a partner at Wigdor LLP. So I'm looking at this black part here. It says statement of Meredith, partner at Wigdor. Combs' most recent statement, she released this at 11:38. I don't know if this is Eastern or Western time, depending on when it came out. Combs' most recent statement is more about himself than the many people he has hurt. When Cassie and multiple other women came forward, he denied everything and suggested that his victims were looking for a payday. He did. That he was only compelled to apologize once his repeated denials were proven false, showing his pathetic desperation, and no one will be swayed from his disingenuous words. So as you can see, that law firm is not letting up on the fact that they know, hey, Diddy, you're saying sorry? Great. We've also been keeping track of everything that you've been saying. I've been doing it, guys. I just put a playlist up on this channel. If you want to check out every piece that we have on Diddy, curated playlist. At the end of this video, we'll put a card in at the end and add the playlist. So if you want to view for your binge watching pleasure, you can continue. But as you can see, the law firm is steadfast on their position of, hey, we believe her. We've been negotiating with this guy for nearly a year, and he folded the day that we put the lawsuit out. That's what we're seeing. Now, let me take a super chat break before we go in, because I have so much more. I just have been collecting it all weekend. I'm like, oh, like a little squirrel. I'm like, let me get these nuts and these nuts. And I know that's what she said. We're going to get those nuts and put them over here in a little basket. And on Sunday, on the Lord's Day, what is today? May 19th, the year of our Lord 2024, AV is going to bring you this collection. And we're going to look at all of it, because there's more. There's a Little Rod lawsuit. There's a woman that came out after and was talking about Aaron Hall and Diddy, like, you know, both doing something to her. People under the age of 18. He's so bad. I'm in rare form tonight. You guys know you like it. Come on, come on. Shout out, let's go to supers. Shout out to the first super of the night. Mr. High Value Man is in the building. Thank you so much for the first super of the night. One of our favorite people has entered the chat. One of our favorite people has entered the chat. Thank you so much, High Value Man. And guys, I know some people are like, oh, if they're new to me, they're like, what is that? I have a whole Kill Bill Roadcaster Pro right now, and I love it. Sorry, you're gonna have to get used to it. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. Thank you, High Value Man, for the $200 super to kick us off. No comment, no question, pure love of the game. He is here supporting, and that is, it's fantastic, guys. I'm going to go ahead and just add him into the banner as the stream sponsor. He does not have to do this. You know, I recently had an opportunity to talk to this brother. So smart, so intelligent, great person. So happy that he's a part of my community, but a part of others' communities. Like, I've seen him blessing others as well. And I'm just really excited that he's here. You know, there's much more to continue on to, but I just wanted to take an opportunity to acknowledge him. If you guys could do me a favor and type HVM in the chat, that would mean a ton to me as we do that. And then we'll continue on to tonight's content. But HVM is our stream sponsor so far with $200, and I so appreciate him. I see a few of you guys coming in on the Cash App. And I'm seeing a few of you guys coming in on the Venmo. I will get to those in a second, but let me continue on with this and keep going. One person show. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. You build it as you fly it, right? Shout out to High Value Man. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for shouting him out in the chat. I love when you shout out each other for all of this. And he's definitely a class act. Thank you so much for mentioning that. Shout out to Dianara. Good to see you, D. He sends $5. He says, Diddy is being targeted by the same people who were protecting him. His sexual sadist behavior is now being exposed because he is no longer useful. Well, luckily for you, D, I have some proof of him speaking to people in a very weird way. And we all know, I don't have Cat Williams' clip tonight, but we all know that people have, there's a rumor in Hollywood, like, if Diddy asks you to party with him, you have to tell him no. You have to tell him no. So thank you so much, D. It's good to see you tonight. And thank you so much for the $5 super. Shout out to Mars, who says he didn't respond. Outrage. If he responds, outrage. Mars, that's actually a really good point. And, you have an interesting name. I was just watching some anime yesterday. I'm a big nerd. Have you guys seen The Blood of Zeus? So I've been thinking about Mars and Aries and the God of War and all that stuff. This is an interesting conundrum because if he responds, there will be outrage. If he responds well, there might be less outrage. If he doesn't respond, there's still going to be outrage. You are absolutely correct about that. But I do think that there is a way to do this if you're really trying to take accountability for your actions and if you really care about what the public thinks about you. I don't know. Sweaty t-shirt, suit. Sweaty t-shirt, Amazon, Safari vibes, or Diddy, Lux vibes, suit, accountability, taking accountability for his actions, meaning it, getting off the drugs, not drinking anymore, all of those things, showing the proof that he's made changes in his life. That might hit a little bit harder versus sweaty shirt, Amazon, backyard, don't give a shit. You see the difference? So Mars, what a thoughtful comment. Thank you so much. Shout out to Live from NYC. Thank you so much for the 20. He sends a super sticker, one of my faves, one of my longest running people. Sends $20. And yeah, you already know Live from NYC. You were with me when we were talking about Keefe D. And I actually have one of those clips for us to look at tonight too, because Keefe D alleges that he was by Diddy. Diddy put a hit out on Suge and Tupac for $1 million to take them out. Keefe D took them up on it, took Diddy seriously. And guess what? Diddy never paid him, and now he's in jail. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Shout out to Lady Di, another one of my faves, who has gifted 20 AV to the 7th Power memberships. And shout out to the members. You guys are helping me with the project right now. We're doing a kind of like a documentary style video on legal warfare and what it means. But we wanted to, before we create the outline, the script, all of that, start filming it, all of those fun things, we wanted y'all's opinion. So if you're a member, the members actually help me with my content. And they are having a great conversation right now about what they would want to see in a video like that. So we're asking them. And if you are a member, you're going to help me with my content. I'm going to ask you questions. If I'm like, hey guys, what do we do? Does this make sense? Like, what do y'all want to see? I will ask you first. Sometimes if I'm going live with lead, I'll let you guys know first. So, membership has its privileges. And, if you received a membership from Lady Di, tell her thank you, but also put a heart in there too, because Lady Di, I've noticed almost every single time I stream, she is giving out memberships. She does not have to do that. She is busy. She has her own life. She has all this stuff to do. She's modding for me. And she's giving you guys memberships. That's a lot. And personally, Lady Di, I want to say thank you. And I hope that you are doing good. But if you guys have received a membership from her, please thank her for that, because she does not have to do it. It's super, super sweet. All right, this last one that I'm going to catch is from Talk That Law. This is a content creator, okay? And he is starting out. He's new. He's also a lawyer from the South. Right? He is a lawyer in Texas, I believe. I check out his streams, guys. I really do. And he's new. So when you're new, like on YouTube, sometimes it's hard because you'll have like 3 people in the chat and you're like, but he's talking that law, and he actually has amazing insights. So if y'all could do me a favor, if any of the mods could find Talk That Law's channel, drop his link in the chat. If y'all could follow him, that would mean the world to me. Because I've checked his stuff out myself. I've checked out a few streams sometimes on Ninja Watch, and I'm in the cut, and I'm like, how you doing, Talk That Law? How are you doing? I checked out a few of his streams, and he's actually super intelligent, great lawyer. If you're ever looking from a Black male perspective that is a lawyer, there's not many of them on this platform. So please support Talk That Law if you have not already. And Talk That Law, thank you so much for the $100 super. No comment. No question, pure love of the game. I will also add you in as a stream sponsor because it's super kind of you. I know you guys are like, oh my God, AV, enough. Let's get back to the tea. There's so much of it. Let me add my man Talk That Law in the banner right now. And again, like, I don't get a lot of lawyers that come to my side. So it's nice to see them when they come by. I'm going to go ahead and add him into the banner. Boom. We are good to go. Thank you so much, Talk That Law. All right, guys, I know we have a few cash apps and supers to read as well. I will come over there in just a second. I just want to bring us back to the timeline. So there is a timeline of how these Diddy lawsuits came out. And I think it's important for us to look at, okay? This comes from AP, right? And they're talking about the abuse allegations, a timeline of key events, because there are a few lawsuits floating around right now. Is that all of the lawsuits that are centered on Diddy? No, they have been starting since the 1990s. He has been involved in the city, I think it's like the city college tragedy, where he was the promoter at an event and people got trampled at the event. Think of modern day, I think it was like Travis Scott. There was something down in like Texas a few years ago where people got trampled at a Travis Scott concert. It was kind of like that. The Travis Scott thing was huge because people actually died. So you have that. Diddy is also, aligned with the whole Shine thing. We're going to talk about that too, where Shine actually did time for this guy. And Shine is an elected official in Belize right now. So we have some of that to look at. Okay. So we've got those things, but also from the Shine incident is a woman who was shot at that incident where J-Lo was and this club shooting. The woman that was shot is still alive. It was on the news a month ago. And I have her account of the story. Also in some of the videos that I do that people don't watch, I've been covering this for some time, right? So we're going to talk about that too. But let's look at this timeline, okay? And let me make sure I make myself small so you guys can follow along. Thank you again, Talk That Law, for your contribution. Really appreciate it. So this is from the AP, and there's a few things that are important as far as dates. Number one, we know that on November 16th is when Cassie filed her lawsuit. We all know that it got settled the next day, okay? And here's the best part. He says, we have decided to resolve this matter amicably. I wish Cassie and her family all the best. Do you know what he signed it as? Do you know what it says at the end? Love. I wish her all the best. Love. Meanwhile, this video is floating. I can't today. I really cannot. I can't believe he said that in retrospect. Okay, a few days later, about 5 days later, 2 more women accused Diddy of abuse in lawsuits filed on the eve of the expiration of the Adult Survivors Act. I also covered that one. A New York law permitting victims of abuse a 1-year window to file civil action regardless of the statute of limitations. This is just in New York, so I just want you guys to realize that. The lawsuits filed by Joy Dickerson and another woman who was not named allege acts of assault, beatings, and forced drugging in the early 1990s by Diddy, then a talent director, a party promoter, and rising figure in New York's hip-hop community. Diddy's attorneys called the allegations false, right? So we have that. Next, on the 28th, Diddy, this is right after Thanksgiving, steps down as chairman from his cable network Revolt because the wave of abuse allegations. It would be one of several business setbacks for Combs brought by the lawsuits. Let's talk about that for a second. He was forced out of Revolt. Now, when you have a company, companies tend to have a board of directors. That's also something that we learned in business law in law school. But, I know people that own companies, that are founders, things like that have people on their board. I was a part of a board for a little while. Now, what happens when you have a board of directors? and you run a profitable organization, well, you get to appoint who the C-suite people will be. The chief executive officer, the chief communications officer, all of those people. You get to appoint who C-suite will be. Now, if that happened on the 28th, and if Cassie's complaint came out on the 17th, do you guys remember when Diddy launched Revolt? He was like the face of Revolt. It was this huge media thing. It was so important for him to have. Why is it that like 10 days later, Revolt, and I want to look at a calendar and look at that. How many business days was that before Revolt pushed him out? Now, business days, looking at a calendar here, the 17th, the 16th, Cassie filed this on the 16th, which was the Thursday before Thanksgiving week. They settled on Friday, the 17th. Revolt got him out on the 28th. So they gave Thanksgiving week a week to breathe. And then the Tuesday, the 28th, they made the decision to vote him out of Revolt. That was Diddy's baby. I don't know about Ciroc. There's another liquor company that got him out as well. But typically, these things come with the decisions of other people on the board of directors. Because of the negative press, they don't want you as a CEO, or they don't want you as a chairman of the organization. It comes with a majority vote. And guess what? The majority voted that Diddy had to get out, right? That's what we saw here. So that's pretty significant business-wise. Now we can start to see businesses isolating him from wanting to be involved. December 6th, you have another lawsuit. This would be lawsuit number 4. This is a woman that alleged that in 2013, when she was 17, Combs and 2 other men R-worded her. The lawsuit filed in federal court in Manhattan said she was living in a Detroit suburb and was flown to a New York studio where she was given drugs and alcohol and made her incapable of consenting. And the men took turns doing things to her. That same day, Combs posted his statement on Instagram denying all the allegations in the mounting series of lawsuits. He said, "I did not do any of the awful things being alleged," the post said. "I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth." Now, that's what Diddy said. I did not do any of those things. Reminds us of like Bill Clinton a little bit. I did not do any of those things. And it's like, Diddy, you published that worldwide. You told your lawyers that, and I don't want to get all nerdy in the building. I won't do it. Okay, I was going to click on something else. I was going to go into the model rules of professional ethics for attorneys. And if your client gives you false information, you have to do what you need to do to correct that false information. So technically, right now, his lawyer publishing those statements on his behalf, and now that we know that they are false or partially false, is also under some hot water. This is why you should just stay subscribed to me. Like I'm going to give you guys the legal tea, okay? All right, so then that's December 6th, and then it was quiet for a little bit. It was quiet till about February 26th. And what happened on February 26th? In comes Little Rod. Little Rod comes in on February 26th, and he's talking about Combs essaying him and forcing him to have sex with prostitutes. The lawsuit gives a long list of potentially illegal activities dealing with drugs, sex, that the producer said that he witnessed. A lawyer for Combs calls the allegations pure fiction. Now, why is that one important? Well, the lead attorney and I had the pleasure of reading Little Rod's lawsuit and have been in touch with Little Rod's lawyer, lead, not me, but he hadn't been in touch with Little Rod's lawyer. That's where we were getting the information from. We were not like all of these legal people just going and finding the documents online. No, There was a direct line to Tyrone Blackburn that wrote those documents. And we kept telling you guys that Tyrone was like, leave. This is not just it. There's more. Tyrone is representing that girl in DJ Academic's lawsuit. Tyrone represented the girl that had allegations against Diddy's son. I read that to y'all. Like I said, there's a whole playlist. Just finding me for the first time, go watch all of it. It's all here. And then we even read the response, because it didn't, and this is so interesting now in retrospect. You guys are figuring this out with me right now. With one of those, we read the responses. And if you remember, if you're a diehard fan, you remember the episode where we were talking about parentheses. You know what I'm talking about. The parentheses episode. There was a lawyer responding from the defendant's side. Here's the thing. They responded from Motown, Epic. I think it was Bad Boy, but they were not responding on Diddy's behalf. So technically, in Little Rod's lawsuit, the companies were like, nah, we're trying to get out as defendants. Keep him by himself. Keep Diddy by himself. Legally, that was the strategy. That was the play. This is why. They were like, hell no, get us out of here. We didn't do this. Like, Little Rod, you could sue Diddy by yourself. We did not do this. Take our executives out of it. That was the parentheses episode. So now you see that not only are people socially trying to get away from Diddy, businesses are trying to get away from Diddy. They're voting him off of boards. He got off of Revolt. They voted him off of Revolt. This is bad. This is terrible. But let's go in again. What else does the timeline say? So you have this huge gap. We go in a month later. This is where the raid happened, March 25th. Homeland Security investigation serves search warrants in the early morning raids on Diddy's homes. And let me click on this. Is that the search warrant? No, it's not the search warrant. I would have loved to show you guys the search warrant to see what they were looking for. So that happened on March 25th. And they did LA and Miami at the same damn time. And it was reported that it was a sex trafficking investigation. Diddy was at one of his homes in Miami at the time. His two sons were at his home in LA. The sons in LA were handcuffed during the search. That's what Diddy's lawyer says. Officials did not say whether the raids were prompted by the civil lawsuits, but Combs' attorney said that he believed that they were. The next day, Diddy's lawyer calls the raids a gross use of military level force. I remember this. Go away, AP ad. I remember the lawyer saying it was a gross use of military level force. And says Combs is innocent and will continue to fight. I remember that too, to clear his name. The attorney, Aaron Dyer, says there is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. Why is this important? Because we are, if Homeland Security, and that's my next piece, is getting into law enforcement and how jurisdiction works. Because look, at the same damn time that they were able to hit the Miami house and the LA house, all from a New York office. Jurisdictions, 2 different states. He has homes in 2 different states. What is in the homes? What evidence are they collecting? If they got a search warrant, that means they went to a judge and was just like, hey, judge, we can prove that it is more likely than not that these items are in the home. They have to provide an itemized list of what they're looking for. And hey, judge, you need to sign it. The judge is going to ask questions like, okay, officers, I could sign it, but based off of criminal procedure, oh my God, go away, AP ad. Based off of criminal procedure, you need to have probable cause to search the homes. Now, your local police department knows this. You know, if I'm from Boston, Boston police knows this. Okay. And the state level knows this. So Massachusetts state police know this. Now we get federal, the FBI knows this, CIA knows this. You bet your ass the Department of Homeland Security knows this, because the jurisdiction of human trafficking falls under them. And they have jurisdiction over the entire land. So, Diddy, if a federal judge signed a search warrant, it is very likely that items in those homes existed. Now, why does this matter? The tape that was released on Friday. It is theorized that it was leaked by the Department of Homeland Security. I don't know if it was them, but some law enforcement body. I thought, as a public relations professional, the fact that it went to CNN itself is interesting. Everybody knows, everybody calls CNN the most liberal of all of the giant media companies right now. And that's not a shade at shade at them. If you were here for my birthday stream a few months ago, you know why I'm not fans of them. But they tend to be more liberal leaning. They didn't give this footage to Fox. They didn't give this footage to a neutral like an ABC, MSNBC. Everyone, even AP, everyone, all of the media outlets had to tie it back and credit it back to CNN because that's where it was received. That's who did the footwork, the investigative footwork. That's who received it. That's who had a mole. That's who had a direct line on the record to what this was. So for all of that to happen and for this man to show up in a safari shirt, I don't know. I don't know what his media team was thinking. Let's pray for the media team as well. Anyway, going back to this, they say that, and I bought it all up because the lawyer is saying, and he's going to stand on the square, guys. Remember this. If Diddy gets arrested for something, this lawyer is not going to say other words aside from the fact that it was a show of brute force and it was too much and it was excessive. He's going to stand on the square for the next 3 or 4 years if this goes to trial. I'm just letting y'all know now. Next, April 4th. Another lawsuit, another one that I've covered here, alleges that Diddy's son, Christian King Combs, essayed a woman working on a yacht, right? We talked about that one. That story is all types of messed up and crazy. Anywho, that also was a lawsuit filed in LA where Diddy created the circumstances that led to the assault and paid to cover it up afterward. I'm going to repeat it again. He paid to cover it up afterward. It sounds a little bit like a pattern, if you ask me. I don't know. The plot thickens.
Crazy.
It sounds like a pattern. It sounds like he is used to paying people off. April 26th. And the first major piece of legal pushback from Combs and his team, they file a motion to dismiss several elements of Dickerson's lawsuit because they were not illegal in 1991 when the alleged incidents occurred. I covered this one too. While the legal objections are procedural, the filing also slams the numerous false, offensive, and salacious accusations of a lawsuit. So again, he's like, this didn't happen. These are new, like there's so many of them. They're just numerous. They're false. Like these are accusations. They're not real. What are y'all talking about? I didn't do this. None of this is on tape. Then May 10th. This was a few days ago. Diddy asked a federal judge to dismiss the December 6th lawsuit that alleged that he and two co-defendants raped the underage girl from Michigan in a New York recording studio. Again, the objections are procedural, alleging that the lawsuit was filed too late under the law, but the court documents calls its claims false and hideous. 2 days ago, CNN airs a video that shows Diddy attacking Cassie in the hallway in 2016. The video mirrors the assault described in her lawsuit, which said Diddy had already punched her that night and she was trying to leave the Intercontinental in LA when he awoke and came after her. In the footage, a man who appears to be Diddy, wearing only a towel, punches her, kicks her, throws her to the floor. The lawsuit alleges that he paid $50,000 to take the video at the time. Diddy's representatives had no immediate comment. You bet your ass you don't have a comment. Like, what are you going to say to that? The LA District Attorney's Office said it hadn't been presented with a case in the attack depicted in the video, and that even if the law enforcement presented a case to prosecutors, the statute of limitations would apply. That's right. It's a little old in California, preventing them from charging Combs, the office said in a statement posted on social media. And then today, Diddy posts a video on Instagram and Facebook apologizing for the assault on Cassie, and his first real acknowledgement of wrongdoing since the recent stream of allegations began. He says, "My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I was disgusted than when I did it. I am disgusted now." Jesus Christ. "I went and I sought out professional help. I got into therapy, going to rehab. I had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry." Now, do you guys see how that hits different when it's written versus when it's said? When he read that paragraph, this one here, when he read this paragraph, it's written actually pretty well. I will say that. My behavior in the video is inexcusable. Like, listen to me and my tone saying it. "My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. He should have said, I was more disgusted than when I did it. I am disgusted now. I went and sought out professional help. I got into therapy, going to rehab. I had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry." Now, hearing another person read that exact statement should show you that someone wrote it for him. Of course, he's rich, whatever. Somebody's going to write your statement for you. But when we go back to that Instagram, it's so bad. Like, I'm calling it the Instagram thing, but like, the empathy is just not there. You just don't see it. You don't see the empathy, like, at all. Like, here we go. Let me share this tab instead. Does it look like, do you see it? Just human body language part. This is why when I talk about PR, guys, does it look like he means it? Sincerely, he wrote it. It does look like you could see the seriousness in the tone, and I'm purposely not playing the volume. But I want you to see how this is a little bit of a PR fail. Body language experts on YouTube are going to have a field day with this bullshit this week. You can't see the sincerity. Who said it? Shout out to Will, who said Chat GPT wrote that paragraph. I mean, it's just crazy. Hi, little gaming channel. He says he's going to therapy. He's a joke. Right. What therapy? You still hitting people, men and women. You still got Lil Rod under Cuba Gooding's arm. You had all of that stuff happening under your watch. You had your sons doing some of this stuff. Allegedly, we don't know yet, but Diddy, come on. Come on. So it is just interesting to look at. And I thought that this timeline would be great for us to look at as we were going through it, because that's where we are today. Today, we are at the point where we're seeing some shenanigans. Now, I've been doing a lot of legalese talking. Now it's the fun part. Now I have put together a curated list of all the exhibits that we have of Diddy. They range from the lady who says he shot her during the Shine incident. We have the Shine incident. We have Diddy's bodyguard saying that he smacked his mama and that's why he has issues with women. We have the Drink Champs clip. We have 50 Cent's Instagram feed, because that seems to get better and better every single day. We have Shine's interview. We have Keefe D's admission where he's asking for the love. So get your popcorn. We're going to hang out for a little bit and go from there. But before we do that, I just want to make sure that I'm all caught up with supers. I was on the super side, so I'm going to come over to my phone and see who we have on the Cash App and PayPal side. Shout out to Ed. I'm just going to call you Ed. Ed sends me $5. No comment, no question, pure love of the game. Thank you, Ed. Thank you so much. And I do want to shout out a few people earlier that were hitting me up on Cash App. Let me see if I save them. The Musical Web sent me $5 earlier today to let me know that the apology dropped. So I do want to give her flowers too. Thank you so much for the $5 Cash App. She said Diddy just posted the apology video. So there were a few of you guys emailing and sending messages letting me know that this was live. Shout out to Amy, who sends $5 as well. And she says, for your hard work. Thank you so much, Amy. Really appreciate you and good to see you on this side. And then shout out to Miss Joy. Joy sends 20. And she says $20 for the love of the game. Shout out to you, Joy. Thank you so much. And super generous of you, sis. I appreciate you sending that over. And all of you guys that have been supporting tonight. Over here, shout out to Dear Woke Christian, who became a YouTube member. Welcome to the community, brother. And guys, if one of the mods can drop Dear Woke Christian's channel, he has been covering this Fannie Willis stuff with me and so many others, doing his thing, giving his take. What I love about this brother is he's actually a person that lives in Georgia talking about this stuff. So I really appreciate his take and love that he is over here on my side and became a member. Thank you so much. Shout out to Simplicity Clara as well, who also became a member. Welcome to the community, guys. Again, for those that have become members, membership has its privileges. I ask you guys things all the time, give you data points. Like we try to gather data points from you guys, especially the members. It really means a lot to us. So thank you so much. Okay. All right, guys, are y'all ready to get into some more debauchery? Now, here's where we're going to head, and we're going to go to just clips that I've curated over these past few months and how all of this Diddy stuff is related, because there's so much. You have deaths. You have people stepping away from Diddy publicly. Like the Kardashians have now unfollowed him. You know, like they're not playing. Ashton Kutcher is about to get himself in trouble with these cases. You have poor little things like Usher. There's allegations with Usher. You have, you know, Justin Bieber posting things like he's crying. They're like, oh, is that because of Diddy? Like everybody's worried about Justin. So there's that. And then you have that crazy kid that used to be on, not Nickelodeon, Disney. He's like, what's his name? You guys know who I'm talking about. He used to be on That's So Raven. I forget his name. And he did start getting into drugs. But it's really bad. Like, I was like, wasn't that the kid from That's So Raven? Shout out to Trainwreck, who's in here as well. Good to see you. Orlando Brown. Listen, he was on That's So Raven. He was like, that wasn't even a long time ago. And then it's like, you see what happened to Orlando. And he's like, Diddy, you gave me that, I don't even want to say it because I'm embarrassed. Like that, osh gosh, my gosh. What is that? And then he was like licking his lips as he said it. Okay, let's go to Suge. Did you guys know? And shout out to, actually, let me do this before we go to Suge. Just because we're talking about Cali. I gotta go to my brother, the Little Gaming Channel, with the $50. He says, what apology can Diddy issue for throwing, kicking, stomping, dragging, and throwing a glass vase at Cassie? I mean, you're right. You're right. What can he say to cover that up? I was hot, Little Gaming Channel. I wish you were here on Friday when I covered this. We watched it together. Some of the folks in the chat right now were watching it. I don't care. Like, there were people in here that were still sticking up for him. There were people in this chat still standing up for him. They're like, you don't have proof that that's him. Boy, it was him. There was no doubt about it. That was him. That was his head. That was his cabasa. That was his whole body. That was him running. That was him, and it was her. Nobody's going to doctor that. And why was it so vividly close to what she put in the lawsuit? And you're right, Little Gaming Channel. There's nothing he can say. There's nothing he can say. Thank you so much for the $50. Very, very sweet of you. If you guys can type in TLGC in the chat, that would be fantastic. Let's go to Suge for a moment. Now, as I was thinking about this stream, I was thinking about how we got to this moment and all the different things that people have been saying to lead up to it. Did you guys know that Suge Knight has, like, not a YouTube channel, but he has a podcast, and it's rather successful from the joint. It's called The Collect Call with Suge, right? And there have only been a few episodes. I think it launched last fall. Now, The Collect Call with Suge is usually where, it's exactly what it is. There is an interviewer that started this channel, and we'll ask Suge Knight questions on a collect phone call from jail. It's kind of brilliant. Now, Suge had something to say when Diddy's house got raided. It's a little eerie because look at this. It's like this animation of scary Suge Knight in an orange jumpsuit. Okay? Just talking. But it's actually the collect phone call in the background. So I'm going to play it for you guys because I thought this was quite interesting. And in retrospect, a lot of the things that he mentioned a month ago actually came out as being truthful. So let's listen to Suge's podcast episode, or what he had to say on the Diddy thing.
Everybody been talking about the Puffy situation. First, I'd like to pray for his family, his daughters and his sons, his kids, basically. That's never a good sign for nobody to cheer about when it comes to kids or young men being handcuffed. It's a bad day for hip-hop, for the culture, for black people. Because when one looks bad, we all look bad. Because that's definitely not nothing to cheer about. But I tell you what, Puffy, your life is in danger. Because you know the secrets, who's involved in that little secret room you guys participating in.
What room? Suge, what room?
So You know they're gonna get you if they can.
Oh my God.
It's a little crazy how Puffy get booted out the alcohol business.
Yep.
And Jimmy Iovine steps in.
Ooh!
With Andre and Snoopy promoting it.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, guys. I had to take a little break. Suge's not playing. He said, it is a little interesting that Diddy got out of Ciroc, the other business, and I didn't even know this until we're watching it right now. There's this new company called Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. Look at, oh my God. Let's keep going.
It's never a good look when it comes to culture of hip hop and for our community, our people. I turn myself in. Sometimes you gotta face the music. That's most of the time.
Wow.
Perfect.
Look at this.
I'm gonna give you some real advice. 2 quick things.
That's him on Halloween.
You gotta make a decision. When you go to prison, either you're gonna be standing up pissing or squatting sitting down pissing. I advise you to try to take the first one. Because if you're squatting pissing on the seat, you know what that means. Oh yeah, by the way, do not do your time going by Brother Love. Brother Love is not a good code name for prison. I'm out.
I forgot about that last part. He said, Diddy, when you come to jail, don't go by the name of Brother Love when you come here. That was a month ago. That was a full month ago. You guys are dying in the chat. That was a full month ago where this was Suge's reaction to the raid. And on his podcast, The Collect Call with Suge, that's what he had to say to Diddy. He said, first, I'm going to pray for the family, for the kids. Like, nobody wants to have, your kids deal with that situation. And Suge, he's so scary. So as he's talking, you're like, okay, we're getting into it. And then towards the end, he's like, yeah, but Diddy, when you get here, you might want to figure out if you're going to stand up when you pee or if you're going to sit down when you pee. And then you might not want to go by the name Brother Love. Speaking of that, we're going to take another little laughing break. Okay. Speaking of Suge, we talked a little bit here on this channel, and I love me some Tupac. I do. That's why there's a rose growing out of concrete. It's one of the first tattoos I had. Love West Coast music, and I'm an East Coast girl, so it's really cool, and I love hip hop, and most of us do. If you don't, that's okay. Like, some people like country, some people you like your thing, that's fine. But I really have been close to this Tupac case, and that's how I got into this whole Diddy rabbit hole. Because Keefe D, as you guys know, was arrested for Tupac's murder in September of last year. Came out of nowhere, 30 years later. Even Tupac's family, like Mo Preem was like, what the hell? I don't even know. Mo Preem's been like, what is going on with this? And why is it Keefe D? Like, we know that someone else was the actual shooter. Well, ladies and gentlemen, dear viewer, I have something else for you. We are now going to the art of dialogue, where one Keefe D, and this video is being used as evidence in his trial that begins in 2 weeks. Keefe D talks about how Diddy offered to pay him $1 million to kill Tupac. And he was on, he's talking to Vlad TV and the art of dialogue. And this video is from 2 years ago. And he's also talking about Diddy here. Okay. Let's just watch it. And I apologize. He can be unconscionable sometimes with the way that he speaks. So I'm giving you a trigger warning. Now let's go.
If I'm not mistaken, you had an issue with how Puffy treated his people, right? Like you. And I remember you saying that you had an issue with how Puffy did Shine.
I just think Puff, you know, he needs to be a stand-up man, man. That dude just sat up there and did that time for you or nothing like that. Then you got this man living down there in police, living all fucking bad, man. You seem like you just leave your people for dead, man. Shit wrong, dude. You Gene Deal complaining about you. I'm complaining about you. You ain't. I heard one of my homies from 30s. I heard he get every quarter he get clothes, all this shit. Then you gave this other dude some fucking a brand new fucking Benzo or Maybach. Another nigga piece of the record company. God damn, homie. I was on top of the world till I met your motherfucking ass, dude. Shit is wrong, dude. Come on, homie. I need something. Throw a dog a bone or something. Sit up there talking about you, daddy love. Show us some love.
Where's the love? He's like, what is Keefe D, the person on trial for Tupac's murder because of interviews like this, self-snitching? What is he talking about here? Well, Keefe D in this box next to me is mentioning how, you know, he had done favors for Diddy and how other people that have done favors for Diddy, such as one Shine, who is doing time, is living wrong and not getting money or compensated for this help, right? And Keefe D is complaining because he's like, I heard that other people that have done favors for you while they have been in jail have gotten money and other rewards for doing favors for you. But what about me? Brother Love? Can I get some love? Can I get some love? Can I get some money? Let us continue listening to the debauchery of Keefe D. He does make my head hurt, so we're not going to do it for too long, but let's keep going.
Mr. Love, I'll be watching you, dude. Damn, you ain't said shit or Keefe D or nothing. You walk around me like I'm some shit on the grass or something. God damn, dog. You can get in contact with me, man, nigga. There's ways around that shit, dude. Fuck. What the fuck? Man, you know what I'm saying? There's ways around that, homie. Throw my kids something. Throw somebody kids something. God damn. Daddy love. You ain't no love. That ain't love at all, nigga. That's some bullshit. That ain't cool, dude. You know what I'm saying? Swear, man. Gene Deal, Shine, Keefe D, just every fucking body, man. God damn. You just leave bad tastes in everybody's mouth, man. Come on, homie. Damn. You forgot where you come from. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm like some shit on the grass and shit, nigga. You know I was in fucking jail, nigga. You ain't throw a nigga a noodle. Fucking, what you call that shit? Put the hot water on, man. God damn.
Ramen noodles, I believe. The cup of noodles.
Yeah. Life ain't been the same, bro. Fuck.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So I want to backtrack.
What?
So I want to backtrack. You said that you was on top of the world until you met Puffy. What you mean by that?
Man, shit, I was getting 300 kilos a month, man. Balling, man. Didn't nobody know about me. My shit was smooth, dude. My shit was laid out smooth, man. I met your motherfucking ass and all the heat and thunder coming around with your motherfucking ass, man. Shit.
Okay, I cannot listen to Keefe D anymore and still have a brain. Now, as we have heard from Keefe D, who, again, his trial for Tupac's murder, I believe it begins in about 2 weeks. It's the beginning of June. So we will be watching that one. If it is streamed, I will be watching that debauchery, because if that's how he talks when he is out of jail and intoxicated or on drugs, then we can only imagine what debauchery will happen while he has been in jail and sober, has not been able to make bail. His bail was granted about 3 months ago. So we've been waiting to see what will be happening with the Tupac murder trial. They have been investigating that thing for almost 30 years. I want to see what Diddy's involvement is. Remember, you have a looming Department of Homeland Security investigation as well, and his name has been brought up in the Tupac murder. Okay, so now that Keefe D is gone, I want to now shift to Gene Deal, Who is Gene Deal, you may ask? Well, Gene Deal is Diddy's former head of security. Now, he has done also on the Art of Dialogue a series of interviews talking about different dealings that he had with Diddy over, I think it was like a decade of service where he served as his head of security. Gene is funny. He also has a new YouTube channel, and I think it's like Uncle Gene Deal or something like that. But I'm going to the Art of Dialogue because he is particularly talking about the Cassie situation in this one. And he talks about his opinion, but he said that, and I made several shorts out of this. One of them almost hit 1 million. But it is around the response of Diddy smacking his mother. Now, we're going to watch this, but this is of particular interest because remember when I showed you Diddy's Instagram page? I showed it to y'all, right? Let me come back to it just so I could show you one more time. Diddy is said to have slapped his mother. Now, for Mother's Day, he had 5 posts. He had a post of his current baby mama. There is Baby Love. She's a cutie. Shout out to Baby Love and shout out to the baby mama. So this is the youngest. Shout out to Sarah, who is another baby mama, right? Shout out to Kim Porter, who is no longer with us. Had been with Diddy, I think, the longest amount of time and was going to write a book talking about some of the Tupac things. That book never got released and she mysteriously died of pneumonia. So shout out to Kim and rest in peace, Kim. Shout out to Misa, who is also another baby mama. And then lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I bring all that up because he says, Happy Mother's Day. This is Diddy's mom. He says, Happy Mother's Day, mommy. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. This is the post that Diddy had just put up for Mother's Day. Well, AV, why does that matter? Well, when we go to Gene Deal, he had some interesting things to say about the relationship between Diddy, his mother, and how it connects to Cassie. Let's go.
Have you spoke to anybody at Bad Boy since the news broke of Diddy and Cassie?
Well, I spoke to Kirk Barrows, and he told me some shit, bro. It's some things that I didn't even know about way back in the past. You know, like when the City College tragedy was going on and everything, and Diddy was on suicide watch. You know, Kirk Barrows was like, yo, man, I should have saw, he told me he should have saw this coming with Cassie and the way he treated women when he slapped his mother.
I'm sorry, what?
And I was like, he did what? And Kirk Barrows said, yeah. I just thought because of what he was going through with the, you know, the tragedy, it was like, I was stuck on stupid for a minute.
Who did
but he was
say?
like, yeah, I thought that he would grow out of it, or it was just because all the shit he was going through when he slapped his own mother. I said, Kirk, let me tell you something. I said, Kirk, don't you remember when I told you when he cussed his mother out? And I think it was even that, Kirk, when we was getting in the limousine, he cussed his mother out. He told his mother to stay out of his mofo business. And I told him, man, you ever talk to your mother? You remember that situation? He said, yeah. I said, Kirk, why you didn't tell me then that he cussed that he slapped his mother? Because if you would have told me to slap his mother, I'd have beat the shit out of him, Kirk. He was like, Gene, I thought he was, you got to realize he was just a kid, and I thought he was going to grow out of it and all the stuff that he was going through.
So quick interruption. What is Gene Deal, former head of Diddy Security? What did Gene just say to this interviewer? He said that he talked to Kirk Barrows, which is an executive at Bad Boy, and that he witnessed Diddy slap his mother. The woman that I just showed you a few pictures ago. I love you, mommy. I love you, mommy. I love you. Diddy slapped his own mother. I don't know what other evidence y'all want me to show you. It's just starting to get bizarre at this point. Like, it's just bad.
I said, my man, that's a bunch of bullshit right there. You understand? Somebody should have whooped his ass way back then. When you do your mother like that, you don't care about no woman in the street. And he was like, I know, Gene, but he was just a kid. This came from Kirk Burrow's mouth himself. I was like, yo, that shit is crazy. Had I known that back then, yeah, I wouldn't have worked for no dude like that, man. I wouldn't even F with him. I'd have told all the dudes in the same gang, and we probably would have beat the shit out of him when he came around. Nobody was going for no shit like that, man.
Jay.
He slept his mom?
Bruh, according to Kirk Burrows, he was in a depression. His mother was trying to do something, and his mother was saying something, and the nigga slapped his mom. You know, I say, yo, and I know everybody gonna say, yo, why this coming out now in the whole 9 yards? This is a part of why he do the shit that he do to women. And people gotta understand that. This is the part of why he do the things that he do to women, bruh. Because if you do that type of thing to your mother, you know, I heard him curse his mother. I checked him on that. But had I known he put his hands on his mother, I don't give a excuse me, sorry about that. I don't care what kind of thing that he was going through after the City College tragedy. Nah, it'd have been a real tragedy for his ass.
Yeah, that's wild, man. To put your hands on your mom, man. I don't know what to say about that, man. That's crazy, man. But speaking of Kirk Burrows, he did an interview with LA Times, and he said that he saw Diddy punch a female back in '94 at Bad Boy offices, to the point that they broke a coffee table and he had to break it up.
Well, Kirk Burrows would know, him being the president of Bad Boy at the time, and he cleaning up a lot of puff shit, you know what I mean? So if anything went down, Kirk Burrows would know, because Kirk Burrows would be the one that had to go in there and mediate and clean up all the shit that he would do. You know, but like he said that, you know, he thought Puff would grow out of this shit because he was so young, being in that type of field and having that kind of position.
Wow. So, you know, I saw that clip months ago, and it came out a little bit after the Cassie complaint dropped, and it actually was pretty telling. You know, if Diddy is going to, and this is around City College, so that means that Diddy was probably around 22, 23, 24, and we've all had altercations with our parents. But when they become physical, and, you know, I don't know if anybody else has heard this. Does anybody know where Diddy's dad is at? Have we heard about Diddy's dad? But like, he often will talk about his mother, and to hear that he would stoop that low, it's kind of like, would he do it with other women? So it's tough, man. It is really tough, guys. Are you ready for more? Some of you guys are like, this sounds like a horror story. I'm going to take a quick little, I have some Venmos over here. Shout out to Betty Spaghetti, who hits me with a 20. How are you doing, Betty? Thank you for being in the chat. She says, great coverage with everything Diddy. I've been binge watching your replays and I'm well caught up. Oh, and the shoulders are shouldering child. You know, I mean, I was like, let me bring the shoulders out today. We got to do the shouldering thing. So I am happy that you love them. I do have a crazy tan line over here. So I was hoping nobody was going to see that, but I just pointed it out for myself. So thank you, Betty Spaghetti. Thank you for always supporting your girl and being in the chat tonight. Shout out to the Lost Chicago girl who does not want me to use her government name. I will not in the future. Thank you so much, Lost Chicago girl. I will not say your government name again, but love that you're here. She says, love your content. Thank you so much. Okay, guys. I think that's all I have. Let me just make sure that the supers are caught up as well. I do have one from D, who sends $2. He says, ain't no love in the heart of the city. Like, listen, ain't no love in the heart of time. Like, you're about to get me into a whole 70s, 60s vibe right now. Hey, right? Like, this gives like 70s vibes. Like this shirt, it does have like little balloon sleeves. So Thank you, D. I really appreciate that. And yeah, there's no love out here. Brother Love is not giving anybody love. You heard Keefe D. He's like, where's the love? Where is it? The shenanigans. YOLO says, why was he wearing that chain after the apology? Was he wearing a chain? The shenanigans. Y'all are making jokes about what happened to Diddy's dad. And before I even look at those, let's do something else. Now, another rumor about Diddy is that he goes both ways. Suge Knight kind of alluded to some of that. We saw a lot of that in the Little Rod lawsuit. I think I still have that up here. Let me just pull up the Little Rod lawsuit. The Little Rod lawsuit is a lot. You know, what I will say about that one is there's, Rodney Jones. He's suing Diddy. He's suing The Sun. He's suing Ethiopia, Lucian, KK, Love Records, Motown, Universal, Combs, Jane Doe's. There was Young Miami's cousin. There was all types of shenanigans in this lawsuit. And in Little Rod's lawsuit, he also has a similar trigger warning that we saw in Cassie's lawsuit. This lawsuit is 73 pages. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. There's a summary of events. There was a shooting. There's so much, guys. Like, this lawsuit has the most stuff in it. There's pictures of Stevie J that were wrong, apparently. Young Miami's cousin that cornered him. Diddy wearing, bags that had coke in it. It just goes on and on and on and on. What I'm looking for in here, and you can see Diddy, like, it's his head. Like, they say that, like, Diddy, like, look, this supposedly is a picture of Diddy with an underage girl. Diddy with another underage girl. That's his head up here. Oh my goodness, guys. As him arguing with Cuba Gooding Jr. This is what I was looking for. This picture right here. Little Rod with Cuba Gooding Jr. Right? This picture is menacing. Right? It's insane. The only reason why I brought it up is because Little Rod does have some allegations against Diddy for doing stuff to him, right? So now we have guy on guy stuff. Now, I know that that's not a lot of y'all's speed, so I don't want to like gross you out or anything. The reason why I bring it up is because in our collection of egregiousness from Diddy, one of the things that came up is the old Drink Champs video. That is an interview where it is titled Diddy Acting Suspicious Sus in a group of men on Drink Champs. Now we know what Cat Williams has mentioned about Diddy. If he says he wants to party, run. Pew, like run. Okay? That's what happens if Diddy says, hey, do you want to party with me? And you're like, I don't know, dude. Like, you're going to find your way out of there. Now, this is the famous Drink Champs video, where it is a collection of rappers. Jadakiss, Fabulous. I think Noriega's in here. And they're all having drinks and having discussions. It's a podcast, right? Diddy walks into the podcast visibly lit. And I want you to pay attention to Fabulous's face, and we will go from there. Let's watch this again.
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you put my bag?
I like when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag?
Daddy, I like when you
right
scrambling
here,
and scraping for shit.
No,
I like that.
You know, I've been practicing. I got
Yeah.
Yes, he just called someone else daddy. That is correct.
Yeah, Mr. Lee.
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you put my bag?
I like when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag?
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping. When you scrambling and
here.
scraping for shit.
No. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna go over with that one.
Make a
That
wish.
one.
Just blow it out. It's your birthday every day.
Every day's a birthday on Drink Champs, goddammit. I'm in.
Where I look
Did you
back
miss
on
me?
where I became. and
Did you miss me though? For real, because I'm
I
saying
miss-
it seems like a thing.
I
With
miss
this
partying
birthday
with
party,
Puff, man. I
Man,
miss
but I'm
partying
talking about
with
for your
him.
birthday.
Huh?
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
Yeah, we partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party. You know what I'm saying? Eyes.
What kind of parties?
Eyes, brother.
Oh, man.
Eyes. I understand. I understand. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So check this out. It's me, Tyrese, Ray J, and F. Gary Gray. You know, I'm a type of nigga, I like variety, man. I like people that's unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? I like different personalities. So I was like, I never knew they would become what they are today. But you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, that sounded like the type of night I want to have in Vegas. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So
Sorry. I did not plan for what's on the screen. It just
Tyrese kept on talking.
This is a Floyd fight, right?
Yeah. And Tyrese keep on talking about like how you got to get back for church. And we just like, yo, the night ain't start. You got to get back for church. We in motherfucking Vegas, nigga. Like, you can go to church next week. You know what I'm saying? Sending your thing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing but we in Vegas. Don't be bringing God into this situation. Don't bring God into this situation. You know what I'm saying? F. Gary Gray is like, nigga, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Ray J. So Ray J is like just really like feeling like Ray J right now.
Did y'all saw what he just did with his neck? Like Ray J, really?
Ray J,
hey, yo,
walked in.
Don't do that.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I said let me pick it up.
was talking
That's why I said I gotta pick it up from right there. This why I gotta pick it up from right there.
He's holding somebody's hand.
Go ahead.
No, bro.
Killing.
Look. I'm telling the story. Bro, we're intoxicated.
Listen.
Bro, we helping me build that beautiful, nice guy, Rastafari brand of yours, huh? I see you, man.
I'm walking.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
Woo!
Happy birthday to you.
Woo!
Happy birthday. It's fabulous. The only nigga that got the name that I want. They ain't get happy birthday to you.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah.
He just sung happy birthday to him like it was Marilyn Monroe. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Oh my God, this whole stream is off the rails. Everybody that's popping in, do you see? Yes, Tasha, he was so drunk. He was so drunk. But this is exactly what Cat Williams was talking about. If he walks into a room like that and it's like, who wants to party? Run. What do you do? What do you do with somebody like that? Like, it's just like poor souls that have been like affected by his stuff. It does not look like that's just alcohol, you know, and that's Drink Champs. It's still a podcast. You still need to speak on the podcast. You still need to articulate. You still need to be able to add some value, like be a guest on the podcast. He showed up to the podcast like that. So, I mean, I don't know, Betty. I don't know if you will, but like, what do you do with this? What do you do with this? All right, guys, I have one last clip and I'm going to go to a few supers. I saw a few of them come in and I saw a few more Venmos come in too. This has been fun for us on a Sunday, starting with his apology, looking at these legal documents and really dissecting it as far as who has jurisdiction over this guy and what's to come next. It's not done right now. He gave that apology for a reason because he had to. It was whatever. We all have our opinions on it. The last thing that I'm going to show you tonight is, remember the Shine incident with J-Lo carrying the gun? J-Lo fled from him and never wanted to see him again. They broke up, right? And Shine was arrested for the shooting at a nightclub in New York. Shine did time for that. I think he did something around the lines of like 8 to 10 years. And after Shine did this time, you know, there were a few victims, like people were shot. The woman that was shot survived. And around the time that all this Cassie stuff came out, she started telling her story, because you have like Jaguar Wright, and shout out to Sis and a few other people that have been reporting on Diddy like heavy. There are full channels here on YouTube that all they do is talk about Diddy. I need my brain at the end of the day. And you know, I can't talk about this guy every day, because if I have to look at a legal document and see this, something is wrong with my life. I don't want to look at legal documents and see shit like this. You know, no one wants to see that. This is why I decided not to go into criminal law. I don't want to see this. What are you doing? It's his head. That is his head right here. That is his head. But no one wants to open up a legal document as a lawyer and see this. Y'all gonna force me to go into supers real quick, because one just came in that made me laugh. So let me just make sure I cover them. I think we covered D. Shout out to Captain Jones. Captain Jones has entered the chat. He says, I'm back in town and enjoying the content. Thanks, Miss 7. Good to see you, Captain Jones. I love that dog. Every time I see your supers, like, I love seeing the dog. It makes me so happy. So I'm happy that you're back in town. And thank you so much for the super. I'm happy you're enjoying the show tonight too. I can go on for hours on Diddy, guys, but I'm just like, let me just make sure that you guys know all of the tea and the shenanigans, right? So shout out to Captain Jones. Really appreciate you in the 20 super. Betty Spaghetti is back. She says Puff's father is dead. He was married. He was. Ooh. Well, interesting. I wonder how old Diddy was when that happened, because you really don't hear about this. So thank you for the clarification, Betty. Appreciate you. Shout out to Jason with a $10 super. He says, I finally caught you live. You are so smart, informative, and gorgeous. Thank you. Those are really, really great compliments, and I appreciate it. You know, like, I try to do this live thing when I can. I did one on Friday, and it was great. We had so many people in the chat. The views were amazing, but YouTube, because I showed the video of the Cassie incident, they do not play when it comes to violence. And again, you know, if there are any victims of DV, in the description box later, I will go ahead and give you guys some resources if you're victims of that. But YouTube doesn't play with that stuff. So they were like, age restricted AV. And I was like, okay, I've never gotten one of those before. Is this a copyright strike? Do you hate me? And they were like, no, you're fine. But, you know, we just want to make sure that people that are over the age of 18 see the information. I mean, it's violence. You guys remember the riverboat thing from last summer? Like, he didn't even get, I was talking to him yesterday. He has not gotten a strike for, like, not a strike, but that video didn't get age restricted. The riverboat joint from last year. You guys remember people were throwing chairs. It was bad. Oh, anyway, you see how they do me? Shout out to High Value Man again, who's back with another 100, and he's the stream sponsor. High Value Man is in for 300 at this point. Guys, if y'all could put HVM in the chat, that would mean a lot to me. And shout out to brother Talk That Law as well. High Value Man has supported me so hard over the past few months, and I'm just so happy to have him a part of this community. What does he say here? He says Diddy is one strange dude. Well, I mean, he has his vices. We know about the drugs. We know about the men. There's another video I did. There was this male prostitute. And I'm not going to talk about him because he is involved with Trump, but not in a good way. Like, he was like a heckler of Trump, went to Trump Tower. I'll just tell you guys, this guy went to Trump Tower, shot it up or whatever. He was crazy. He was legit, like, insane. So they bring him into interrogation after they lock him up for doing that, because technically it's a presidential property. So they bring the guy in. His name is Jonathan Odie. Nobody watched that video. I have it in the playlist if y'all want to see. Jonathan is talking about how he was doing stuff with Diddy and Cassie and how he was one of the male sex workers that Diddy hired. Right? This was like 3 years ago. So it was before Cassie's complaint dropped. And he had like outlined it exactly how Cassie did. So now you have all of these people, men and women, talking about what Diddy's been up to. And it's just like there's just too many similarities for people's stories to line up and this and that. And I know from that elevator footage, we talked about freak off nails. Her nails were white. Okay? Her nails were white in the picture because she didn't have shoes on. You saw her toes. You saw some white toenails and some white fingernails. And I'm like, and that guy described it in his interrogation video the same way. He described her nails. He's sick, man. He really is high value, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. Now, thank you so much, high value man. And thank you guys for shouting him out. Really means a lot to me. I've got one quick Venmo. It's from Lost Chicago Girl. And she says, I'm just messing with you. I don't care what you call me. That was just the first time you called me by my government name. Love you no matter what you call me. Love you too. Lost Chicago Girl. Thank you so much for that Venmo as well. All right, guys, let's go into the last clip. And shout out to one of my favorite mods who's entered the chat, the International Quiet Storm. One of our favorite people has entered the chat. Sorry, I had to give you that. I don't know if you've heard that sound yet. I had to give you that. But let's look at the woman who got shot by Diddy and says it was Diddy, and people did not believe her. So let's go here. She was on the news about a month ago, and her name is Natanya Rubin. She has spoken out about this. I think one of the last Diddy videos that I did a short 10-minute video for you guys where I reviewed what she had to say. So Natanya is on the news and she's talking about what happened to her. And like a lot of people did not believe what happened. They actually went to court, but I want you to hear it from Natanya herself, and I'm going to bring it all the way back. Shout out to News Nation. Let's look at this clip.
She joins us now, sharing her story. Natanya, thank you so much for being with us. I can't imagine what you've been through since 1999, and then all the emotions that must be coming up over the last couple of days. What was your reaction, Natanya, when you saw these massive raids at P. Diddy's two homes?
First and foremost, thank you for having me. It was very emotional. In short, it was extremely emotional because it was basically it marked 25 years, a quarter of a century since this occurred. And I've had to relive this over and over again, intermittently in that time. So when I saw it, it was very cathartic because I finally felt like justice would be done. Justice would be mine and belong to all of his victims.
Yeah, and you have said since really right after the shooting that it was P. Diddy who shot you. I mean, I think you even said it to the doctor that night, right?
I said it immediately. I literally watched them pull out the guns. I've had a clear point of view. I mean, for God's sake, I got shot in my nose. I was facing them directly. I watched everything occur and have described it, vehemently to all parties involved. I think in our society, we have respectability politics. There are people who want to be adjacent to power or celebrity or money, and there's a hierarchy of respectability. Because his name was more notable, he was believed rather than a victim who gave a first-hand account. By the grace of God, I survived.
Yeah, and this was also a different time. I mean, things were very, very different in 1999. I mean, did you sense right from the beginning that no one believed you?
Well, I don't think that was on my mind. I think first and foremost, I'm a mother. I'm a mother of 3. At the time, I was a mother of 2. And just surviving and getting home to my children was of the utmost importance to me. Being whole and being able to mother them. That was primary on my list. I didn't have any reason to believe that to think that someone would not believe me. But as things unfolded, it was a very short period of time where I realized that's what in fact was happening.
So as I mentioned, Diddy has denied being the one who pulled the trigger. But this is interesting, Natanya. Rodney Jones, also known as Little Rod, is now suing Diddy for sexual harassment. That's something that's been in the headlines for the last couple of days. And there's a very interesting quote from his lawsuit that relates back to you that I want to read because it sort of ties all of this together. And it says, Jones claims in the lawsuit, Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for the shooting in the nightclub in New York City with rapper Shine. He shared that artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, carried the gun into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual. So now you have Little Rod in this new lawsuit.
And here's the thing, guys. What this news person is saying is true. I have Little Rod's lawsuit up right here on this other screen. It's in there. It actually says that. So the fact that this woman's incident is also reflected in the Cassie lawsuit as well, because there is a part about Cassie holding Diddy's guns in her purse. Now, he also mentioned the whole J-Lo incident, like, he used to make her do that as well. So you're seeing a lot of these similarities end up in both of these current modern lawsuits where you're looking at one of the victims on the screen. And here's the thing, guys. Everybody's like, how come Diddy wasn't charged for it? Shine was charged for it. Shine was charged with shooting her. Even though she told her doctors and other people that Shine didn't pull the trigger. Diddy did. Diddy got off.
Saying that Diddy told him that he actually was responsible. I mean, what did you think when you read that?
Well, I was incensed for a number of reasons. First and foremost, for the past quarter of a century, he's vehemently denied that he was responsible, even though I knew wholeheartedly, and as so many others who were in the club that night, we all knew he was responsible. A lot of people were afraid for their safety, justifiably so. I mean, the history that has occurred in the last 25 years proves that they were justified in being afraid. But I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid because I still bear I have 9 bullet fragments remaining in my face. So when I saw that count 128, that's actually count 128 of the lawsuit. When I saw that on a podcast that was analyzing all of the counts, I knew I had to speak. I had no intention of going viral. I was just getting it out of me. I have a mantra, having my say. There was a time a few years ago where I had a talk radio show called Having My Say. And that's very important to me. I believe everyone is entitled to have their say. Far too often we don't hear people or listen. And so I just wanted to get it out of me because it was like an audible, deep breath that I needed to take. And I made the TikTok video not expecting it to go viral. Went to pick up my daughter, came back home, and she's like, and I literally told her, I'm like, well, you're probably going to see it tomorrow. I made a video on TikTok. Maybe 100 people will see it. By the time we got home, she said, Mommy, it was 70,000 people. And I could not believe it.
Wow.
But it was time. It was time for me to speak. I'd stayed quiet for 25 years. It was my time to speak.
Yeah, we don't know yet what's going to happen with the P. Diddy situation. Obviously, again, he hasn't been arrested. There's clearly a very big federal investigation happening now. But I'm thinking back to other cases, R. Kelly, Jeffrey Epstein. When they started to dig, all sorts of stuff came to the surface. They reopened old investigations. Would you like to see the investigation involving you getting shot at that club be reopened?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The irony is there was a grand jury. We all had to go and speak at the grand jury. J-Lo testified at the grand jury, as did many other people. It needs to be reopened because if that is in fact the case, she carried the gun in and she lied to the grand jury. It needs to be reopened. My shooting, ironically, the night I went into the
J-Lo lied.
I had a comb in my pocketbook called a rat tail comb. People in the beauty industry or people that use that type of comb would be all too familiar. It's just a comb. It can't do anything to harm anyone. And I had the very security officer who lied during the trial, Sharice, I forget her last name, but she literally took it from me and kind of pushed me like, you can't take this thing. This is a weapon. To let other people in with guns. If someone had combed me 24 years ago, I'd be fine. You wouldn't even know my name. But having been shot by someone that was allowed to come into the gun when I couldn't bring in a comb, I would absolutely unequivocally like the case reopened. It needs to be reopened. And the saddest part for me is, had people taken what I said more seriously and listened more intently, 24 years worth of people probably would not have had to suffer.
Yeah, and I ask you this respectfully, just because I think people at home might be wondering, and I've never been shot. I can't imagine what that's like. But, you know, in the chaos of that moment, and it's a club and there's people all around, like, how can you be sure that it was actually P. Diddy?
Because I was standing by the front door. I watched the entire thing out. I had no reason to believe that it would escalate to a shooting. It was just male machismo and bravado at first. A lot of pushing and shoving, raised voices, you know, hands. But then I saw them reach in their waist and draw from their hip. And I knew. I instantly turned to my friends and told them, be careful, watch out. And when I turned back, I know, and I've said over and over, I've heard the voice of God said, you are about to be hit. Calm down. And as I said no, I looked straight forward ahead and I watched the muzzle flash from both of their guns and I felt the impact to my face instantly.
Wow.
There's no doubt in my mind who shot me.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to
Wow.
joinnn.com.
Wow. Well, that was unexpected because I had not seen that clip all the way to the end to see that J-Lo may have perjured herself on the stand. I see a few of you guys a little skeptical. You're like, is this lady just looking for some money because money's being thrown around right now? I'm kind of with you guys on the skepticism, a smidge. But I do know that there are a lot of problems with grand juries. We've talked about that extensively. Sometimes when I'm on lead side, we talk about grand juries and how they're very easy to come about. You guys see that in some of the presidential cases that are happening right now too with grand juries. You can indict a ham sandwich. It's that easy, right? But as far as people lying on the witness stand, we know that that happens too. And I don't have it right now, but there is a clip that I showed you guys, I think it was about a month ago, of Shine. And, you know, Shine talking about his, demons that he's wrestled with while he was in jail and how Diddy tried to pay him off after he got out of jail. Shine is doing well right now. He is like in Belize, and I believe he's a part of the Belizean government. I don't know if it's Belizean, but he is a part of their government and he's doing super well. Does not want to look back at what happened in his previous life here in America, all of those things. So Shine's fine. He's not trying to revisit this thing. He just wants to leave the past where the past should be. But like to hear this lady's account of what's going on, and she did, that's how I got wind of her. She did last month have a viral TikTok where she talked about Diddy shooting her and what her experience was. That's how she ended up on this news outlet last month. They were like, hey, we found your TikTok. We want to invite you on so you can talk about your experience. And she talked about it. What I will say is that in the TikTok, she did not mention that J-Lo lied on the witness stand. That's a big statement. And some of y'all were like, is that why her and Ben are having problems? And isn't this like her 17th marriage too? And it's just like, just stay with Ben, just stay with someone, please. Just one person. Come on, J-Lo. Susie Q. Susie, she says, Belize is my native country. Well, you probably know Shine then. He's doing well. He's doing his thing. Okay, guys. Well, let me just make sure I haven't missed anything on here. Thank you guys so much for the supers, the cash apps, all the support tonight. Yeah, I think I caught all of it. We are going to be watching the news and seeing what happens with this. I'm looking forward to getting back to some political commentary, to be honest. I do have a bunch on Nathan Wade. I have a legal document that I've been waiting to cover. His wife has come back and we have found Mr. Nathan Wade and a little bit more lies. So we will be looking at that legal document this week. Misha Maynor came out with an interview, going to be going back on some of the shenanigans in Fulton County. I'm only going to be in Fulton County for another week before I head up to Massachusetts to go to bar exam boot camp. So I'm trying to stream with you guys as much as possible. And then I am also finding temporary studio space so I could still stream with y'all while I'm up there, and then continue to make videos as much as possible. I want to thank stream sponsors for tonight, 2 of them in particular. High Value Man, wow, thank you for always being here and being a huge support system, not only to me as a creator, but me personally. It's very, very nice of you to be here and do that. You don't have to do it, but you do it. I know you have a super busy life, so the fact that you're supporting creators and here when we go live is huge. So thank you for that. And then another one, Talk That Law. Guys, he is a content creator. He is a lawyer. He's practicing. Sometimes he'll be like, hey, but you got on that faster than me. I was like, because I didn't have to go to court today. That's why I talk that law. But he's a strong brother. I love watching his content. I know his channel is growing. So if you guys can check him out too, that would be great. I hope you enjoyed the shoulders today. I bought them out. If you like the shoulders, put a 1 in the chat. Also, if you have voted, let me look at our poll. Let's see what you guys have said in the poll. Did he do it? 95% of you. Is he guilty or what? 95% of you say that he is guilty. 4% of you say that he is not. We had 905 votes. Thank you guys so much. And thank you all for liking the video on your way out. Please do that. Again, we got a super busy schedule. I'm going to get some sleep because I'm over here slurring my words. But again, none of this has been legal advice. There's a lot coming out. I will be reviewing a ton of this stuff. I want to thank all the sponsors, everyone that has contributed today. Stay safe out there. I will see you in the next one. Bye.